Construction on a new airport terminal set to begin this year. President Horta addresses the United Nations Human Rights Council. New funding to address stunting in rural communities. Welcome back to RTTL World News. I'm Zeri Madeira. Dili Airport is a step closer to getting a new modern international passenger terminal. Timor-Leste's Ministry of Transport and Communications has signed a contract with a Japanese airport construction company with work set to start this year. Alianza Nunes traveled to Tokyo for the historic signing and has this report for RTTL World News.
A new contract to boost tourism and trade. The Timorese government signed this agreement with a big Japanese company to construct Dili's new passenger airport terminal.
TEA is the company overseeing construction of the Nicola Lobato International Airport Terminal. Today we signed a contract with a firm that will comply with procurement regulations and national laws. As the contract exceeds $5 million, it will be submitted to the Supreme Audit Court for review.
The Japanese government is contributing $27 million for the project.
Under this agreement, we received a subsidy from the Japanese government totaling more than 4 billion Japanese yen. Based on the exchange rate specified in the contract, this converts to over $27.5 million.
Construction is scheduled to commence this year.
We like to wait of your notice to procedure, and then so after that we can start the mobilization. But anyway, we can do some preparation works in Japan. Then immediately we will start the preparation works and making the plan and the schedule or something.
Timor-Leste's Minister for Transport says under the contract, construction will have no impact on flight schedules or the airport's operations.
Anatel will manage terminal operations, monitoring both landside and airside activities to support 24-hour flight schedules.
The Timorese government says the contractors will have to provide local jobs during construction.
We stipulate that Timorese workers be hired based on their expertise, ensuring strict adherence to contract clauses regarding mandatory local workforce.
The Japanese consortium says Timorese workers are essential to the project.
Some management Japanese will mobilize to East Timor, but of course we need some helping from East Timor people, local people. Yes, welcome. Yes.
In our company, there are a lot of foreigners working, and we practice inclusivity. So we promise that we will, of course, work with the Timor-Leste people, and we are actually very excited to work with them, and we believe that the Japanese people with the Timor-Leste people, the combined effort, it will result to the success of this airport terminal project.
Under the current development plan, the new airport passenger terminal is scheduled to be finished by 2028. Timor-Leste's Minister for Transport and Communications also visited the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA's headquarters, to discuss continued developmental support for Timor-Leste with a focus on the sustainable development of the nation's infrastructure. Alianza Nunes, RTTL World News.
Timor-Leste's president has affirmed his country's commitment to the global human rights body during a powerful keynote address in Geneva. Jerome Horta also held high-level meetings with ASEAN and Portuguese language countries' representatives and the World Health Organization.
And I have the honor to give the floor to His Excellency, Mr. Jose Ramos Horta, President of Timor-Leste. Your Excellency, you have the floor.
President Jose Ramos Horta spoke in front of more than 1,000 delegates from 150 countries through a UN interpreter.
We live in an age of extreme polarization within countries, between neighbors and beyond. Armed conflicts persist worldwide, from low intensity to open warfare not seen in decades.
President Horta said climate change, political instability, and rising debt had deepened inequity for the world's poorest countries.
To show wisdom and compassion by rescheduling and or, when necessary, simply writing off debts in a spirit of shared responsibility.
He also warned about the dangers of misinformation.
Civic space has shrunk. Social media amplify misinformation, fuel divisions, exacerbate anger over extreme poverty and feelings of discrimination and exclusion.
President Ramos Horta declared Timor-Leste's commitment to the UN Human Rights Council.
The international system may be imperfect, but it remains the best available framework to protect the small and the most vulnerable.
He said Timor-Leste has strengthened its institutional framework to prevent gender-based violence, promote women's political participation, and ensure equitable access to education, health, and employment.
We invest in education as the foundation for human development and peace building, aware that Timor-Leste's future depends on an educated and healthy youth, fully integrated into the country's social and economic life.
Foreign Minister Benedito Freitas described the president's stance as vital in promoting Timor-Leste as a global advocate for human rights.
The president's presence here shows that the president knows how to value the essence and substance of human rights as a global challenge that is firm and strong and needs to be fought.
During the high-level session of the Human Rights Council, Ramos Horta said he is concerned for human rights violations in Ukraine, Palestine, and Myanmar. He drew on his own experience and his role in Timor-Leste's fight for peace, which led to him being awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1996.
It was our deep conviction in human dignity that allowed us, during our struggle for independence, to recognize the humanity of our adversaries, understanding that they too were victims of a system that denied them their rights.
Earlier this month, the Timorese government opened a legal case against the Myanmar junta claiming war crimes and crimes against humanity after Ramos Horta met with representatives of alleged victims in January. Alianza Nunes, Escos Vieira, RTTL World News.
Timor-Leste faces significant malnutrition challenges and food insecurity, with almost half of Timorese children under 5 suffering from stunting. RTTL World News brings you this special report on how Japan's government is giving $430,000 to Care International to improve livelihoods and nutrition in Achabe, Ermera.
A new agreement to improve rural livelihoods and healthy diets. This is the third phase of Japan's rural development project in Achabe.
This project will focus on agriculture, women's empowerment, and nutritious practices. Timor-Leste continues to face challenges in these areas, and Japan has supported them for many years.
The programs include the rehabilitation of rural roads and irrigation systems to supply water to farms.
They will conduct capacity building activities, including on agricultural irrigation, vegetable cultivation, village savings and loan association management, gender awareness, nutrition, and post-harvest practices for storage, household consumption, and market sales. They will be also engaged in road rehabilitations.
CARE in Timor-Leste has partnered with CARE International Japan to help deliver the programs.
Improving livelihood and health in such remote area is really essential for inclusive development in Timor-Leste.
In 2026, the project will focus on 3 priorities: increasing agricultural production through improved farming techniques, strengthening women's economic empowerment through village savings and loan associations and financial literacy, and improving household nutrition through diverse diets and practical cooking practices.
Starting next month, the program will benefit 4,000 people, including pregnant women in Atsabe.
We hope that more women will receive various opportunities through this project, and that people in Atsabe will gain more knowledge and skills in agriculture and nutrition, so that they can enjoy better lives.
Local governments hope this collaboration will give households access to food and improve nutrition.
The malnutrition percentage that is high in Berbera. We need some project that will be dealing directly with how to prepare the good foods, for example, to help school feeding programs and other necessities that community have to make better.
Elmira records the highest malnutrition rate in Timor-Leste, with almost 2/3 of children under 5 suffering from stunting. Paulina Quintang, Timothy Guzmao, RTTL World News.
Protestant and Muslim leaders have told RTTL World News they are facing discrimination at the nation's official registry. They are reporting that official documents have been rejected by the notary. They also claim there is continuous discrimination when processing administrative documents. Marriage should be a time of joy and excitement for new couples. But for Protestant Apollinaire Martins, losing his civil marriage with registry and notary services led to a slow, frustrating, and unnecessary 3 months of administration.
I went to process my civil marriage documents at the notary. According to the criteria, I must bring official documents from the church, such as marriage certificate from my parents, baptism, RTTL, identity card, and electoral.
When submitting these documents, Mr. Martins was told to return in 2 weeks with no explanation. He complied, but after 2 weeks, he was told he would have to return in another 2 weeks to complete his request. After 3 months of this, Mr. Martins was eventually confronted with confusion about his religious background by a notary public servant.
They answer yes, but we are still confused because too many Protestants in Timor-Leste. Then I replied, yes, but a Protestant evangelical assembly is built in Timor since the Portuguese time until now. Why didn't you know yet? After that, he took me to meet the director of the notary so I could make clarifications, and then the next day I got my civil marriage certificate.
According to Protestant leader Arsenio Fernandez, marriage certificates, birth certificates, school enrollments, and more are reportedly being rejected or delayed by civil servants when issued by religious organizations other than the Catholic Church.
The difficulty that we have encountered during this time is that we see it as a persecution in the administration. Sometimes we send the Protestant community to process letters such as baptismal certificates, marriage certificates, very difficult to get quickly because we are Protestants.
Timor-Leste's constitution states that no one shall be persecuted or discriminated against on the basis of his or her religious convictions. However, the Civil Code states that marriage can fall under only 3 categories: civil, Catholic, or traditional monogamic. The notary is required to cooperate with religious entities and competent community authorities for the registration of civil and marital marriages, births, and deaths, which means religious documents from outside of the Catholic Church are not recognized. Notary General Director Agustino Gonçalves Vieira denied any discriminatory practice.
Our service to our clients is not to religion or group. The communities come to process documents based on what they need because there are 3 criteria that are currently implemented: civil documents, Catholic, and traditional.
He clarified that these restrictions are constitutional and amendments to the Civil Code have been approved to the Council of Ministers.
We work based on the law and we cannot break the law. So it is not our fault. The state must see this issue. We have presented it to the Council of Ministers and received its approval. So now we are just waiting for the Member of Parliament to make the decision.
Muslim leader Abdullah bin Said Sagram echoed concerns of discrimination.
At the time of the Constitution, they did not see the issues. That's why, related to the treatment of documents from the Muslim community, notaries don't recognize, but recognize only the Catholic religion.
He called for a timely amendment to the Constitution.
We know that Timor-Leste is 100% Catholic religious majority, followed by Protestants and Muslims, including Hindus and others. But we belong to the citizens of Timor-Leste.
Almost 98% of Timor-Leste's population are Catholic, while approximately 2% are Protestant and less than 1% Muslim. Jerry Madeira, RTTL World News. While the vast majority of Timorese are Catholic, on Rttl Island 2/3 of the population are Protestant and belong to the Assemblies of God. The Pentecostal Protestant denomination, the Assemblies of God Community, or AUC, has been in Timor-Leste since early last century. In an interview with our presenter Alianza Nunes, the church representative Ozzy Suarez speaks about the church's commitment to peace, family, and leadership, and the challenges it faces.
How many Protestants are there in Timor-Leste, and how many churches do you have?
There are more than 10 denominations in Timor-Leste of Protestant churches. Protestant church in Timor-Leste, but we don't focus on the other Protestant church members or local church that they have. But the AUG, actually, we have more than 80 local churches in all around Timor-Leste territories.
What is the history of the Protestant religion in Timor-Leste?
The history of Protestant church is started in 1930s. So 1930s in Timor-Leste, and another 6 years more, we complete the 100 years the existence of the Protestant church in Timor-Leste. But this only on AUG, Assembly of God Church in Timor-Leste, the existence. So from the historical side, from our ancestors, and then it comes to the Pentecostal time, which is our reference Pastor Gomez, and with his wife and family started in Timor-Leste, begins from Rttl Island.
What role do Protestants play in Timor-Leste?
The Protestant church in Timor-Leste, basically on AUG, Assembly of God Church, we mainly focus on how to preach the gospel of God to the people in Timor-Leste. Basically focus on the family, how they could have peace with the presence of God in their families, how the gospel can change the family's life. They contribute to the peace and the stability in Timor-Leste.
What community initiatives do you take part in?
The AOG initiative in Timor-Leste taking part in provide leadership training to the young and new generations, how to continue to be a good leader, church and also for the country. To be a good leader, not just to gain the knowledge from schools, at universities, or other things that you gain from your skills and experiences, but the moral is also very important to lead, to help and lead the country.
Can you tell us about your involvement with Pope Francis' document on human fraternity and how it connects people across religions?
Well, AOG are truly committed on that documents, and we are stand for it, and we are not discriminate other religions. We are not. We support the peaceful in collaboration in implementation of the respect other people beliefs and religions. That's what we do, and contribute to the stabilities of the country, families, municipalities, and the world.
So what challenges do Protestants face in day-to-day life in Timor-Leste?
Basically on bureaucratic and legal challenges that we face. So for instance, if we would like to build a church in the other municipalities that we have numbers of the church members would like to build and provide service to them, sometimes we get really challenges on that. And then the church members, sometimes we start to build it, and the activities include other congregation, the church congregations try to stop it and make violence against, even hit the church members, AOG church members in the field. And the authorities itself, even police, and also the authorities in the municipalities, including sub-district level, sukus level, nades level, they are lacking of the law, the information about the law and constitution, about the freedom of people to believe and to follow his own desire and belief. I think our government need to help our police and local authorities to understand much about this. Our members are very scared living in a democratic country as Timor-Leste. So another challenge is that administratively challenges based on baptism, marriage, and birth certificate, sometimes quite a big challenge when our church members try to proceed their administrative issue to get a passport or a citizen's things, become a challenge for us.
Are Protestant numbers increasing in Timor-Leste, decreasing, or staying the same?
There are few denominations coming to Timor-Leste since our independence. The increasing numbers of the Protestant in Timor denominations. But AOG, I'm not saying increasing or not, but when we face the obstacles in the field, that means that we are increasing.
That's all. Thank you for talking with RTTL World News.
Thank you.
Each year, a plucky band of expeditioners base themselves on an Antarctic glacier to set up one of the world's most remote airstrips. The ice runway at Wellington's aerodrome is a critical asset, but getting it ready for flights is nothing short of extreme. The ABC traveled there with the support of the Australian Antarctic program.
Touching down at the bottom of the world.
This is my 21st year of flying to Antarctica. I still get an absolute kick out of it every single time. There's just nothing, it's just white and white and white, but the horizon is absolutely razor sharp.
Wilkins Aerodrome is Australia's aviation gateway in Antarctica, but its 3.5 kilometre ice runway is only open for part of the summer, and it takes weeks of preparation to get it ready for the influx of flights.
All day, all week, we just start clearing the runway. Snow blowers, large blades on the front of loaders, bulldozers, scrapers behind tractors.
The aerodrome is managed by a team of about half a dozen expeditioners who live and work together for several months at the remote outpost.
The team that we work with is just fantastic. So, and the bond you form with your team here at Wilkins is amazing.
About 20 planes will touch down here at Wilkins Aerodrome over the summer months, providing critical supplies and personnel for the Australian Antarctic program. But in Antarctica, the weather can turn in a flash, and conditions are sometimes extremely challenging for passengers and pilots.
But we've got some pretty good procedures in place that we've had bedded in for many years that mitigate all that risk.
And despite the hard work of the runway crew, there are times when it's simply too hazardous to allow planes to land.
So we will do all the prep work just for a plane to get cancelled, and then we just get ready to do it the next day.
Keeping Australia's Antarctic flights on schedule as best they can.
And now the weather with Zegedes.
Thanks, Jerry. Here's tomorrow's weather. We will start with Delhi. Cloudy with occasional rain and thunderstorms in the afternoon, a high of 29 and a low of 24. Cloudy and humid with rain and thunderstorms in Bokau, a top temperature of 26 and a low of 22. A morning thunderstorm, then breezy with some rain in Lautern, a top of 27 and a low of 23 degrees. Bamanaru will be cloudy and humid with an afternoon thunderstorm in areas, a top temperature of 26 and a low of 20 degrees. And overcast in Laileu, temperatures ranging between 23 and 18. Now, looking abroad, Kupang, cloudy with occasional rain and a thunderstorm, a high of 28 and a low of 25. A hazy day with cloud and showers in Bali, a top temperature of 30 and a low of 23 degrees. Jakarta is looking cloudy and breezy, a top temperature of 32 and a low of 24. Rain in Seoul, otherwise overcast, temperatures ranging between 14 and just 1. Darwin, mostly cloudy with a couple of thunderstorms, a high of 30 and a low of 26. Mostly cloudy in Sydney with scattered showers, a top temperature of 24 and a low of 21. Lisbon, partly cloudy, a high of 17 and a low of 10 degrees. Mostly sunny in London, temperatures ranging between 13 and 5. And mostly cloudy with a couple of showers in Belfast, a top of 9 and a low of 3 degrees. That's all for now. Back to you, Jerry.
Thanks, Gedes, and thanks for joining us again on the program. RTTL World News will be back with more stories on Sunday. Bye for now.